Hello everyone. Today's video is pretty serious, and for those that aren't aware, um, see if I can find out. Um, Around about the 25th of June, a um, YouTuber was found dead after jumping off a bridge. His body was recovered by the police, and the police actually did post a tweet saying that they'd found him and had been identified. Now, while this would be an issue because over the last 6 to 12 months there have been a lot of discussions on YouTube about mental health, particularly when the whole app that people were promoting, and there was issues surrounding that. Now, the reason why this is more news is because prior to the suicide, there was apparently a fake suicide attempt, meaning he tried to make it sound like he was just going to commit suicide, but he didn't. And apparently he planned it. Now the thing is that, yeah, that's a bad thing, but the way people and one specific person reacted to it made matters a lot worse. Now, Etika probably had mental illness issues for years, but he just didn't talk about them, which a lot of people don't. And the main reason for that being is a lot of people in some communities will view mental illness as a weakness. Yes, we know it isn't, that it's something that a lot of people suffer with, but it is still classed as a condition, and a lot of people do still see it as weak. I don't, because I have a mental illness. And the one main person who didn't help matters was Keemstar, which doesn't surprise me. Keemstar did an interview in before he died, and Keemstar actually called him weak. Now, I haven't watched the interview, I don't know if it's still available, but I don't want to watch it. And apparently, when Keemstar called him weak, he went off and rage quit, which I don't blame him. If you have a mental illness and you've been told by multiple people that you are weak for having a mental illness, and then somebody who claims to be a news channel then decides to call you weak, then that isn't going to help matters. He posted a video on his channel, did Etika, saying, "I'm sorry." YouTube removed that, but there have been re-uploads. I have watched part of it, and you can tell in the video that he's done. He is completely done. And it was apparently not long after that video was posted that he left his belongings on the bridge and jumped. Now, Keemstar's reaction to all this was astounding. I have screen grabs of tweets, and I will be popping them at the end. Keemstar, the thing that pisses me off is that Etika knows 100% that the internet is worried about him, and 13 hours later he's not notifying his fans that he's okay. Maybe it's because he did off himself, but doubt. I got some intel that Etika is most likely not dead. Alleged gaming monitors are missing from his apartment, suggesting that he is somewhere else laying low. Keemstar. 3 different theories talking about where Etika is. Florida, visiting cult, Japan, blank. And for those that aren't aware, which I understand that if you aren't, Japan is notorious for the suicide forest. refer back to Logan Paul last year. Then we have recorded an interview with Etika. He started yelling and rage quit. He mad because I called him out for being weak. To everyone asking, I have no update on Etika. I hope he's okay. But he was making plans for they got exposed for a publicity stunt on June 20th. Now, I don't think we know exactly when he went into the river, but it's somewhere between the 20th and the 25th. Keemstar really doesn't seem to understand mental illness. He's definitely proved it with this, but he's also proved it with Buggy. And for those that aren't aware, Buggy's a big gamer. A lot of the stuff he does is gaming related. He's on both Twitch and YouTube, and he has an influence. Now, one thing Buggy will discuss on his channel is his mental illness and his history and what happened to him when he was younger and how that affects him now. Now the problem is, when he does that, Keemstar will jump on him and say, don't you think you need to stop it with the mental illness stuff? Don't you think you need to, instead of wallowing in the mental illness, you need to tell people how you get out of it and this, that and the other? And Buggy replied to him, I haven't. He said, yes, I'm better than I was, but it is not completely gone. And from what I understand of Buggy's mental illness is that it is abuse related, and abuse related mental illness is one of the worst to get rid of, because you have the memories. You have the memories of what happened in your head constantly. When I say constantly, I mean constantly. You always have that memory in your head. So it does affect your ability to process things. It does affect your ability to process being human. And not having mental illness for somebody is, yeah, it's great, it's wonderful. If you don't have it, fine. And there are some people that can pull themselves out of it. Then there are others that can't. I have mental illness. Mine's three-part. Situational, relating to something that happened in my childhood, and genetics. So, because with me, I'll never get rid of it. Partially because of the genetic component. Now, and also because the situation that I'm in is only going to get worse. Meaning, my disability. Now, Keemstar's lack of understanding of mental illness is very well understood. He has no understanding what causes it. He has no understanding how you get out of it. He has no understanding of the mechanics of it. He thinks he does, but he doesn't. You can have all the therapy in the world. It still won't pull you out of mental illness. You can have all the therapy and all the drugs in the world. Still won't do. For some people, won't work. Because sometimes that isn't what works. And for him to say, oh, because he has mental illness or he has a history and blah, 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 he's weak, that is the wrong thing to say. Because you have a mental illness, you aren't weak. In actual fact, you're pretty strong. If you have a mental illness and A, you're still around, B, you try and get help, and C, that you are fighting for trying to get better, then you're not weak. Now, Etika did try and get help. He did try and get the support he needed. However, it was, in his case, too little too late. I don't hold Keemstar responsible, but I do think he needs to reevaluate his views of mental illness. Like I said, this is not the first and undoubtedly the last time that he says that he understands mental illness when he doesn't. Calling somebody with a mental illness calling somebody who has a mental illness weak is a no-no. And the fact that he thinks that, oh, it's okay to do that, again, is an issue. But this is Keemstar. He technically shouldn't have a channel because I actually think he owns Drama Alert. Also, he calls himself a news channel. No, you're a drama channel. You're not a news channel. A news channel would not do what you did. A news channel would not upload a video of somebody who has a mental illness being called weak and screaming at you in response. Phil would never do that. Jen could never do that. Well, I hope not. But at the end of the day, we need to learn from this. That yes, some people will do publicity stunts and some people will cry wolf. However, if you know that that person has a history of mental illness, whether it's a prank, whether it's publicity stunt, or whether it's real, you still need to do something. And a lot of people tried. A lot of people really did try. And again, I think it was too little too late. Etika is a casualty of a lot of YouTube's views and attitudes towards mental illness. And I don't mean the company itself, I mean some of the people. So, that's my view. That's my 10 cents. And I'm going to go before it gets too noisy. So, stay safe, be good, have fun. And I will see you soon.